3,
He's gonna fucking take
2,
my attention off.
1. And we are back with yet another podcast by yours truly, the Thought Observatory. Today we have with us special guest Shane Lehman and his dog here, Scrappy Doo. I don't know if he's gonna get in the frame here.
He might jump up on the couch.
Maybe at some point. He's going back and forth with it. But anyway, Shane, you came back from Texas here recently, I believe. When was that exactly? Was that a couple
beginning
months
of
ago,
September
right?
sometime, yes.
September, okay, right on. And you were working there, correct?
Yes, in Fort Worth.
Okay, right on. And what were you doing?
I was working on garage doors.
Garage doors,
Yeah.
okay. Like painting them or you like making them?
Everything.
Everything, okay.
Yeah.
It's like an entrepreneur with garage doors, huh? Okay.
Yeah, my cousin owned his own business, offered me a job.
Okay.
Figured I'd give it a shot.
Was it worth it, you think?
Yeah.
Right on, okay.
It was an experience.
What made you come back to good old Iowa?
It just wasn't working out on my job, and I was having a hard time finding another one that was worth my while.
Mm-hmm.
I got offered a good job here, and it's kind of an easy decision, honestly.
So that was your family, but like you worked for Dez's dad, right? But you're not working for him now, right?
I worked for Dez's dad when I still lived here, but then my cousin
Right.
down in Texas, yeah.
So who do you work for now? Not Dez's dad?
No, just
Don't you work with those? Who were those guys that we were at their apartment that one time we hung out? It's like Dez, Josh.
Gibby.
No, not Gibby. Gibby wasn't there.
Blake.
But there's like a bunch of people.
Blake, yeah. I don't work with them anymore. They all work where I used to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shit. Just getting confused. Fuck that up.
Do you miss it at all, being there, or do you like being here more?
Especially now because coming up on the winter.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's getting pretty
Like-
cold.
What temperatures does it get down to, like down there when it's winter time?
In the mornings, like when the sun's down, it can get into like the high 30s, or every once in a while it can get like the low 30s, maybe 20s, but that's rare.
For Texas?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
You guys still get
That's
snow sometimes, don't you?
We did this year. I didn't where I lived, but certain parts did. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but I think it was College Station where Texas A&M is. I could be wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but they got snow for the first time since like 1974 or
That's
some
crazy.
shit.
Dang, dude.
You wouldn't expect that in Texas. You would think that would be too far south, but that's a big ass state too,
It
though.
is. It is.
It's
So,
a very
like-
big state.
From my house in Iowa to Fort Worth where I lived was almost exactly 12 hours, and you can drive for 12 hours in Texas and still be in Texas. That's how big.
Jeez.
You ever seen that meme online where it's like, do you know the actual size of Texas? And it has like the actual state of Texas inside Texas. It has like Europe and all in there because
It's
it's
nuts.
knocking it up for how
It's
big it is.
fucking huge, dude.
Did you know Alaska is actually bigger than Texas by land? Like the amount of land it has?
I didn't know that.
Alaska's
Dude, I
the
want to
biggest.
go to
I thought it was
Alaska.
smaller.
I've been there one time. It was nuts.
Dude.
Alaska's huge, dude.
Dude, I don't hunt or anything, but I would fucking hunt in Alaska.
Oh, it'd
Some
be,
fish, dude.
that'd be an experience. I want to go fishing.
Dude, I want to run into an elk. Like, I don't want him to run me over, but I want to run into an elk. Like,
That's all part of the experience, though. You know, you gotta
Just
get rid
get
of it.
trampled.
Whatever happens, happens. Right?
those things are beasts, though, dude. Like, I would hate to get mauled by one. Didn't you get chased by not
Moose.
a moose?
Yeah,
You got
out in
some
Colorado. Yeah, we were there. I was probably about 9 years old for my uncle's wedding, and being a kid, I was like, no, there's no way this moose is gonna chase us. You know, it's such a serene landscape seeing this moose drinking out of the pond and stuff. It was so cool. Next thing you know, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, no, it's not gonna chase us, because it started to turn its head toward us. It's like looking at us as we're all snapping pictures. I'm like, no, Mom, it's not gonna chase us, is it? And she was like, yes, it will. Next thing you know, I'm like looking over, and the thing is like trotting up like at us up the hill. I was like, oh shit. So we started running. Of course, I didn't say shit as a kid, but we started taking off and stuff. And my mom, she actually like picked me up as she was running, and like we ran to the car.
That's
and took off.
sketchy, dude.
Yeah, those things are fast too for how big they
They're
are.
huge.
They're
It's like-
huge, dude. Like, they're just trucking it nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, I've heard it's so good to, like, have elk meat.
Oh yeah.
Like, it would make
Full
you,
meat, too.
You would be, like, rock solid,
Probably,
dude.
dude.
Like,
Those
just
things are
cut, just lean.
full of steroids somehow.
Probably,
Big
dude.
bastards.
What do they eat? But they probably eat grass or some
Yeah,
shit, right?
that's all they really eat.
Yeah.
How do they get so fucking big, though?
Genetics, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's just like, the same with pretty much any animal. You look at gorillas too, how big they are, and all,
Yeah.
they're just eating grass, and of course they got the
Fruits
bananas. I don't know
and
if gorillas really eat bananas. I haven't seen them do it, but see like
I'm sure they eat
chimps and
fruits
stuff.
and stuff, I guess. I don't know.
You
Yeah.
just see, like, the Harambe looking ones, dude. Like, they hit chest day every
R.I.P.
single day. Harambe.
Big
Rest
bastards.
in peace, man. Can we get Harambe back?
I wish we could. I almost gave a speech on them in my college presentation.
Really?
The good ones die young, dude.
Because there was this thing we were talking about as far as the idea of deforestation, forests getting cut out and stuff in our world, which is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to give it its own like comedic spiel and like throw Harambe in there because it had this picture of this gorilla. It was like painted, or I think it was actually edited what it was, but the gorilla was like pictured upon this like mound of like trash basically, but it was in an urban landscape, so it looked like a homeless person. So instead they had this gorilla sitting there, so it had that idea of deforestation. It's like, well, what if, it brings up all these moral dilemmas, like what if instead of the homeless person it were a gorilla, we don't see this stuff. We don't see the forest getting cut down.
Right.
We're exposed to that sort of thing, regularly. So
Right.
it was an interesting thing, but I'm like, maybe people would pay attention more if we gave it more of like its own.
It is pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Of course, I didn't want to make fun of it, but I'm like, what if I did throw in Harambe? All these college kids, anyway, they're all so obsessed with it. Like, oh, Harambe, dude. You got
he was a legend, dude.
He was.
He was a legend, and
Got shot down for no. Well, I guess
He got shot down because people are shitty parents and didn't watch their kids.
right, and it's like, dude, don't put animals in a fucking zoo. That's not natural to them. So they get. I'm sure, like, there's some instances with that. There's the whole SeaWorld thing, like.
That's.
Oh, yeah.
don't even
They
get
would
me
kill.
started.
They would
SeaWorld's
kill like the
trash.
trainers or whatever. Like those big orca whale. Or
SeaWorld
They killed the trainers.
SeaWorld's
Yeah,
trash. Yeah, trainers
yeah.
have died at SeaWorld. But
They like-
Oh man, I
They
didn't know that.
They like ate
Which
them,
is-
dude. Like they like freaked out because they can't be kept that enclosed. They're supposed to be out in this vast
it's
area
a
we
huge
call
whale in
the
a not
ocean.
very big tank, dude.
Yeah, and then they're killers, dude. Like they'll maul you. Like
They're literally called killer whales.
yeah, it's literally in the name.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Did they have one of those things? Have you ever seen the movie Happy Feet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this. Didn't one chase like the penguin, whatever it was? Damn it. Oh no, that was a seal. I'm thinking of seal.
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure it was a seal. Yeah.
was-
Those things get freaking
Isn't,
big too.
isn't Happy Feet the one where like they don't talk, dude? There's no. It's just like music or right.
No, I think they talk.
They do
Pretty
talk?
I
sure.
think they do talk, but it's
I think
just
so.
like music.
Maybe I'm thinking
Yeah.
of the wrong one.
The
Dude,
damn
my
good
dog
movie too.
is out over here.
Oh, Brody, we're gonna have to snap a picture of him. We'll show him the podcast.
Man, he
Special
was,
guest.
he was hyper before, now he's out.
Yes, of course. As soon as we start this, he's out.
Of course, this bores him, man. He can't talk. He's not a person.
So
Count me out.
how do you like wear him out in the day? Like you play with him a shit ton?
Well, I work a lot during the day, so it's kind of sad because when I was living in Texas, my roommate he worked nights and I worked days, so it was kind of nice. So he was out of his kennel all day. He could run around and stuff. So he's kind of stuck in his kennel during the day. I would leave him out of my apartment, but now that I'm back home living with my parents,
You don't. You keep him.
I keep him in his kennel. Just they have a lot of new cars. I don't think I trust him. I don't think he'd do anything. But
Yeah.
better safe than sorry with all the animal mounts and stuff they have in there too. That stuff's
Right,
kind of irreplaceable.
Yeah, that would be bad if
So-
he got into something.
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
You don't think he would though? I, mean,
I don't think he would, but
He's pretty well trained.
he's very well trained. But it's better safe than sorry.
How old is he?
He'll be a year old in like 3 days.
Dang, man.
They grow so fast,
Yeah, I
dude.
know.
It
But
really it does feel like just even a couple months ago, you're sending me those Snapchats
And
and
he
it's
was
just his
tiny,
little thing,
yeah.
running around.
Dude, I remember being so happy for you, seeing those snaps. Like, dude,
He was
Shane
so
got a
cute when he was
freaking.
a
It's
puppy.
always like an exciting feeling when you get like a new pet, whether it's like a
Uh-huh.
dog or a cat.
it's like a new family member.
Like I always used to think of myself as like a dog guy, but then we got Chester, and that dude has completely changed my thoughts on cats. Like he is hilarious. You've had a cat. You had Chubbs.
Oh yeah,
Like,
good old Chubbs.
dude, they're just on crack, but it's so entertaining. to
Oh
watch.
yeah, for sure.
Like
they're so stupid.
they're
dude.
hyped up about the dumbest shit. They like he like prounces around the house, and if you start like charging at him, he'll literally like turn his body sideways, and that's how he runs. So you just tell he's like galloping, but his body's like his ass is like right next to his face. It's like, dude, you're tweaking.
They've all got their own little personalities, man. Like I swear, like my sister, she got that cat Nova, and that thing is just sweetest little kitten you've ever had when she was growing up, and now she's just a murdering asshole.
They
kills things
change.
outside.
They change. Like as kittens, they're just on crack, and then they get older, and they could be the quietest cat that you've ever
They're
had.
just dicks, dude. One
Yeah.
or two.
Which, like, I don't know. Do you feel like dogs, like when they're puppies, are more rowdy than like a newborn kitten, or do you think it's pretty even?
I think dogs are.
They're more-
They seem more rowdy, probably because most dogs are bigger.
But
than cats.
it's pretty easy to train dogs. Like you just have to do
It is, but when they're puppies, they're out of control. They don't know how to
Right.
control their body and
Yeah.
their energy and everything. So
Yeah.
They're bumping into stuff. They're all over the place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They got the Bambi legs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just sliding around the floor.
And a lot of them have the paws that are too big for their body, so they're flopping everywhere.
I had a babysitter. Her dog just died, and it was 20 years old. Like,
Wow.
I don't think I've ever heard of a dog
Damn.
who lived that long.
20
Cats
years
can
old.
do that. Cats can do that.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly depends on the breed too, but I don't know because do dogs tend to live longer than cats? Or
It depends what the breed is. Like, Rossi, she's a Jack Russell Terrier, so her breed normally ranges like
What's up,
double
dude?
digits for years. Whereas like bulldogs, or I think bulldogs, they don't have as long a lifespan. They're like under 10 years. So like it just depends on the breed. He seems like a good breed. Like he'll probably go past double digits.
I wanted to announce his
I
entry
hope so.
right here, but I didn't want to cut you off. I would have
Yeah.
felt like a prick. This is Brody. This is Scrappy Doo.
Brody.
What's up, bud?
He's
He's a
like
studio pet right now. He's just a chill.
He's
little
about to
dude.
pass out again.
he's about to melt hearts all across America, dude.
Uh-huh.
For sure.
That's my son.
That's the son. That's him right
I
there.
love this dude.
Your
What,
hairy
you
little
were-
son.
You were talking about the collar earlier, weren't you? Was that like, is there a,
Huh?
were you talking about the collar earlier? I thought I heard you talking about stories.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I
Behind
just-
that.
So, my aunt lives on a farm. She kind of lives out by me, and she has donkeys. And she has 3 dogs. Her daughter was there. She has 2 dogs of her own, and I brought my dog over. And
Okay.
they started like a whole dog like ring to like mess with my dog, dude. I swear to you. Okay. Okay. I got there and they told me this story that my aunt's 3 dogs were playing outside with her daughter, my cousin, her 2 dogs, and they found my aunt's 3 dogs just standing there watching my cousin's 2 dogs rolling in donkey poop.
Whoa, okay.
They said the 3 dogs are just standing there watching like they told them to do it. Is what they said. So they washed them off. You know, I came over, brought my dog over. I found my aunt's 3 dogs and my cousin's 2 dogs standing there watching my dog roll in donkey poop like they told him to do it.
Some sort of hazing going on
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Poor Brody.
So I gave him a bath. I cleaned him. I threw his collar in the washing machine twice. It came out and it was still smelling like donkey poop. So I bought him
Okay.
a
I
brand-
thought you were saying something about like why you chose that pattern and that camouflage color, but okay, so that's
I bought him a brand new collar, and I never had a tag on his other one, and I finally got him a tag. And it's a
Oh, there we
Hawkeye
go.
one. Go Hawks!
that's the right team. Oh, I shouldn't say that too loudly.
He's got the
Going here to
I
Iowa
got,
State.
I got the name on the back.
He's got the camo, man. Nobody can see him.
Exactly.
Fronting.
This is my dude right here.
He's a troop. He's a troop.
He's just so athletic, dude.
I taught him how to climb trees.
Like,
You can climb trees.
My dog can climb trees.
He can climb trees.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That is some OG shit right there.
Like,
I
I
bought
feel-
him. He's tired, dude. I bought him a frisbee, and he loves. He's finally figuring out how to like track it. You know how they can curve and stuff in the air. He's
Mhm.
finally figuring out how to see where it's going and
Yeah.
can track it and see where it's gonna land. And he'll
Oh, that's
he'll
cool.
jump like 5 feet off the ground and snag him, dude. He's,
Dude.
he's flipping and not flipping, but you know what I mean.
At
some point
Flopping
probably
around
will.
in the air. Yeah.
dude,
Give him a few more months.
Dude, he probably could.
Little ninja.
He just
Look at
runs,
him.
He's
dude.
crazy.
Meditating. Man, it feel good. Feel good to be on this podcast.
I like it right on top of the dome right there.
Ever since I moved back to Iowa and I had all the, my family has a lot of land we live on. I had all the land for him to run around on. He's gotten
He's probably
a
psyched.
lot more muscular, dude.
He's
No,
probably,
yeah, I
he's
bet.
probably psyched, dude.
Whenever he's outside by himself, or like I'm outside and he's just out doing his own thing, he'll literally just run around my entire property and just find the biggest
Doing
sticks.
sprints.
doing
Just
laps.
find the biggest sticks that he can like carry that is possible for him to carry, and he literally just makes a stack of them in my front yard. There's no joke, probably like 15, just a stack of like 15 fat sticks in my front yard that he just finds all over the place.
That's awesome, dude.
Wonder why they do that. I mean, I've seen other dogs do that too.
Because
Just
every
like a-
time I get home and let him outside and go outside with him, he'll just run and grab me one. And we play fetch with it, and he loves it.
Oh, okay, so he's just wanting some fun out of it.
Yeah, like some dogs like to play fetch with sticks. My dog doesn't. She just likes
That's this dude's favorite thing to do.
really
Either the frisbee or sticks.
Yeah, dude. Some dogs just like go ham for that.
It's nuts. One time, we were down in the cabin, and he brought a stick in. The cabin that is by my house, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And,
in your backyard.
Yeah, he brought a stick in, and he just ate the entire. I didn't realize it because I was watching football, but I looked down and he ate. It wasn't like a little twig. He ate a stick.
How'd that come out on the other end? Fine.
Fine.
I've done this before. I'll do it again. Yeah, dude. My dog has, I don't know what he's eating, but she'll eat rabbit shit, dude. They don't care.
He eats his own shit.
He eats his own shit?
Yeah, I just caught him doing it one time. I was like, Brody!
Bro, that just came out of you.
Yeah.
Why would you eat
Nasty!
that? God damn. That's why their breath always smells like shit.
Yeah, dude. I just don't understand.
But did you know that dogs actually have some sort of like bacteria in their mouth that like supposedly I read about it somewhere or something that kills germs or whatever. So their mouth is supposed to be cleaner.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I heard this crazy story, which I don't know if it's true, but I heard this story back in high school. Like this girl that, you know, like if you feed you're not supposed to feed your dogs, like I'm sure any pets like house food or not too much of it, like other than their dog food or whatever. And if they eat enough scraps, it will pretty much like turn their stomach around to create this bacteria. And this girl supposedly, like, you know, you're like kissing on your dog or whatever, they lick you or something. She got it from the dog, like this bacterium or whatever, that like turned her stomach and she couldn't eat anything that she used
She
to.
got that poop disease.
Yeah, so I don't know. It kind of sketches me out, you know? Like, I don't want to get my dog's face after she'd been eating some shit or something. Like, I don't want that to happen, but that's the only time I've heard of it. I don't know if that's actually true or if, like, that's a common thing.
I doubt it's a common thing.
Can't be, dude. Like,
But
everybody has dogs.
You never know, dude.
I know, that's why I
It's always going to be in the back of your mind. It's one of those things that you're always going to fret about for of unnecessary reasons.
It's just always haunting your subconscious.
Like when you were a little kid and you're afraid there's like a shark in the deep end of the swimming pool. You know?
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
my biggest fear, like as a kid at the pool, was like pissing in it and it come out blue. Yeah. Like, damn it, everybody knows I just pissed in the pool. Like, you never wanted that to happen, so like, I'm not gonna do it. But
Sure.
like, it never happened, or at least at the Indianola pool, they did not.
You tested it?
I did.
It was a deliberate like experiment. I just pissed.
I think it was like I just tried a little bit, and I was like, all right, it's good. Doesn't look like it's turning blue. So I was like, all right, full on, just like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't even have to get out and go to the bathroom. You just do it in the pool. That's like the best feeling, like not having to get out.
Yeah, you ever think about a public pool is literally just bathing with tens of maybe hundreds of other people?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it's kind of disgusting.
it's gross
They
when
try
you
to-
think about it.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather go to the lake.
Honestly,
Like, at least that's some natural biome.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, your foot might hit a
Brody.
fish or something.
There was one time I stepped on. Oh man, he just got his balls dangling out. Brody, come on now. I remember one time we were out there, and I'm pretty sure I either stepped on. First, there was a dead fish. I don't know if it was like lodged on something. I stepped on it. It was slippery. I'm like, oh jeez, man. And then it just rose to the surface. And wasn't there a dead body?
Yeah.
They found a dead body down
At a Quabi.
Quabi.
It was like years
man.
ago. There was a dead body found, and they like shut down the place for a while.
What was it a murder or somebody drowned?
I have no idea, but like, how does it happen? Like, was it at the bottom? Does the dead body float? Is there buoyancy?
Yeah,
Unless it's
to
like
it?
weighted down,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
or
know.
maybe it got trapped underneath something.
It's like that's the only place like here close to we're in Ames, but in Indianola, that's like the only place you can go and swim at, other than the pool.
I mean,
Two not very good places to go to. We don't
Oh,
have much
man, we
selection
don't
down there.
have great options at all.
let's go to the beach on a lake.
Shane, but I want to ask you what your thoughts are on the Mac Miller extravaganza.
Here we go.
I had to bring it up, man.
Here we go.
It sucks.
I know you
man.
like Mac just as much
I
as I
love
do.
Mac, dude.
He's underappreciated, man, by a lot of people.
You know what I want to see? I know they had like a festival for him, and that's awesome. But I see Triple X, who, in my opinion, I mean, I know he was attempting to right his wrongs. I mean, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he was kind of a shitty person, and he's getting all this recognition. He's up for what, like a Grammy or something or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And where's Mac, dude? He was just a good dude, had some demons,
Yeah. And, nobody deserves demons by any means, but I think it's just on a larger scale because he's an artist. And the thing that I think about Mac is, like, you look at all his music, and I think why a lot of people had such a hard time. Like you and me, us, we have never met Mac. No. So for some people, it's hard to see that and be like, why are you so upset? You never knew this person. They were just a rapper. But it's deeper than that because his music, he was so honest with his music. He talked about his multiple drug issues. Like he made a love album, you know, all these different aspects of his life. And he was being honest. And I think people just really related with that because a lot of times in music now, you see people just making music for hits. Like what the youth is gonna live, like Tekashi 6ix9ine, all that stuff. Where
Migos, dude.
Mac was a concept artist, so he would make concept albums where it's just a storyline all the way through. Like my favorite one is still watching movies. Like
mine's either watching movies or swimming.
You can't listen to it, like you can't skip tracks. You have to start from the beginning and go all the way through the end to really appreciate it. And so, I don't know. I mean, there's just not a lot of genuine artists. And he wasn't just a rapper. He could play piano, guitar. He made his own beats.
He was a musician.
He could sing. He's an all-around artist. He's not just a rapper.
Have they ruled out like what the cause was of his death?
All I heard was that it was an OD. I don't know what it was on.
It was an apparent overdose.
Yeah, but they said it was like kind of sketchy. They said that his house had been like swept and like
wiped
clean and everything.
I think the first.
So they said somebody had been through his house between the time that he died and when the authorities went through it.
See, that's what's weird, and it is drugs that killed him, but I think he got a bad batch of something.
Yeah, whether it was
somebody was trying to cover it up.
Yeah, which is just really unfortunate, you know.
Especially for somebody like him, you know.
Right, and I just think a lot of people. That's the thing. It sucks when a great artist like that, you know, because we've had Michael Jackson, we had Prince, and, you know, people like them, but, like, you don't really appreciate what they did until they're gone. And so after he died, like, all his album sales in swimming shot, like, all the way up on the charts. I was kind of pissed at first, but at the same time, I think a lot of people were just really like, wow, and went and started listening to his music. Which is good, but yeah, it's like, damn, he died, and everybody appreciates him now, you know?
And it's just a, you know, sort of metaphor for life, you know, you don't really realize how much something means to you until it's actually gone, you know, you hear that from pretty much everybody. You don't realize what the good moments are until you're out of them. Just, wasn't it Andy or whoever that said that?
I was just thinking about that in The Office,
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, that show, that had many good quotes in it, but yeah, I mean, that's, there's metaphor for life with that. I just think that, I think everybody's thought about this at some point, but with as far as, you know, either it's depression or whatever it is that somebody's going through, I think the more that you are stripped of something that you really want, the more that you begin to actually cherish that once you have it. You know, it's like people these days, you know, especially families, you know, and I'm not knocking them at all, but the ones that are involved with or grew up in families that were rich, you know, have all this, you know, this money to go out and do things, you know, they aren't necessarily making or providing for themselves, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
They're sort of stripped of that being where, you know, once, if they're stripped of, if it's money or whatever it is, they aren't able to adequately survive in a world where they don't have that, you know, that's not provided for them. And so it's a tough world, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning to make this huge deal out of the whole Mac situation.
Right, and I think it also brings a lot of light to, like, mental health. You could look at his album and say, like, the content seemed a little bit more uplifting. He was subtly talking about drug use, but it's called swimming, and there's, like, references where it's like, I'm swimming, I'm not drowning, you know, I'm afloat. So it's like, I may not be at my best, but I'm dealing with my shit. I'm not at my
worst, yeah.
So, like, but I think Mac, you know, he has dealt with drugs pretty much for a long time over his career. That's why him and Ariana broke up. And, I mean, but once again, like, he was just honest with it and how he talked about it. You know, not a lot of people do that. I think drugs kind of get glorified now. Yeah. And that's where you see, like, all this epidemic we're having, like the opioid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Epidemic. And
like pharma and all that.
I don't, why did XXX, who was hunting him down, do you know?
He just got robbed.
He just got robbed?
Yeah, apparently it was, like, a hit, but I don't know.
How do you guys feel about, like, the conspiracies behind all that stuff? You know, whether it's X or Mac, I mean, do you guys ever feel like it's actually worth getting into? Or
I think that there is a lot of shady shit that goes on everywhere that people don't know about.
Do you feel that it's worth getting into, or are you sort of one of those people where, you'd rather just have them, rest in peace versus like, okay, whatever happened,
I mean,
let's just let them rest.
I don't want to be that guy, this,
right.
Oh, this, you know what I mean? But I think I want to know what happened. People deserve to know what happened.
Yeah. So the truth behind things.
Not only in the Mac situation, but in everything. Dude.
Yeah. Yep. I think I think it's definitely something that's, as far as, really, any artist that has had that happen to them. And, there's conspiracies that are outside of artists, even, whether it's their death or whatever's going on. Sometimes it's just one of those things that it's very hard to talk about in recognition of conspiracies, because then you can kind of come off as like insensitive almost too. Yeah. It's a very touchy subject, but I do think it's worth diving into, at least for the part of the truth, trying to figure out what's really going on.
Yeah, you have to be careful with conspiracies, because if you can get too far into it, that's kind of dangerous. I mean, it depends what conspiracy it is, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the thing though. Maybe it's like we just should never know. Like, we respect Mac's legacy, and like it's probably bad either way, whatever we figure out from here moving forward. But and maybe that's different from my opinion, just because I have a close bond with the music that Mac created and the person that he was. But I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna be bad either way when you figure that out.
Yeah, I hate the ones that. And I'm by no means I'm trying to knock off like any huge, large conspiracy. It's good to have an open mind about certain things in life, but what really pisses me off are the people that like make those big conspiracies. Like they try to throw in like numbers into the equation, and they're like, oh well, if they have a name like Tekashi 6ix9ine, if he were to die, they'd say, oh 6ix9ine. It's like, oh he's going to die in 6 to 9 months, or he knew beforehand that. He is, that stuff takes me off, man.
They start to seem like outlandish when you go
Yeah.
It's like people just add stuff to it. Like, come on, where did we start and where did we finish?
It's baffling, and it's amazing in like the worst sense that I could even come up with. I don't know, man, but with all that being said, it's very hard to accept this whole thing with Mac Miller being gone. Just as John Mayer put it, this was supposed to be Mac's time. He was going to be making a quantum leap in music. I think he put that the best way that I've seen,
I think the crazy thing is, like, he was 26, and we're all 21, 22.
Relatively close.
And, I've been listening to Mac ever since high school when he dropped Donald Trump. And, even that's, like, his most corniest shit, dude. Everybody bumps to Donald Trump. That shit slaps.
It was corny, but it was...
But, like, I don't know.
It smacked, dude.
It did smack. And just the growth that you see with an artist like him, I don't know. It's just easy to get attached to that. But the coolest thing, like, about his death was seeing the reaction from, like, all the artists.
So many people.
You saw, like, what kind of relationships he had built. Like, it wasn't just rap. Like, yeah, you have, like, the Schoolboy Q, Chance the Rapper. There's like John Mayer, who's a completely different genre of music. You got Miguel, who's like R&B type stuff. You have actors. Carl Anthony Towns, like, he's a basketball player. He touched like all these people's lives, even if it was like a couple times where they met. Like Post Malone was saying, his favorite memory with Mac was just playing beer pong. Like, we've all played beer pong.
He's just a dude. Just a normal dude.
Could just anything simple like that. You would feel that, like, he just wants you to have a good time, and he wants to make people feel comfortable. Just a genuine soul, dude. Like,
you know what I think is weird? What? I'm not saying like he should have died or whatever, but like, out of any of his projects that he could have ended on, it's almost like it was fitting that it was swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's
almost like it's weird. It's almost like it fits.
It's kind of sad.
It is.
It's very haunting, like, listening to that album now. Like, I don't know. It's just stuff that he's talking about, like, in the way that it sounds. And it's just, I think, his most complete piece so far. But yeah, like, the outro sounds like just an entry to heaven.
It does,
It does, and it's creepy. Like...
He's a very
it sends you somewhere, dude. There's not a lot of musicians that can make music and send you to this place. Like, you just send your thought process up there, and that's where you're thinking for that moment when you're listening to that song. Like There's just not a lot of artists that can do that. It's crazy.
He was a visionary.
He was.
You know?
He said in his song, there's like a song where he's like, "My mother raised me a god." I'm like, fuck, dude. That sounds cocky, but really, I think he was taken away to like teach us some shit. I mean, I'm not this spiritual sort of
philosophical.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's just such a genuine person, and there's not a lot of the people like that in this world.
Well, just like you were saying, I mean, to see everybody up on that stage with his what was it called, that celebration that they had?
It's like
the celebration of life.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the ticket sales like were donated to a charity of his.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, okay.
It was like for youth art programs and
Yeah,
stuff.
something like that.
See, that's cool, man. That just goes to show. I mean, his family, they were behind that, right?
Yeah, they set it all up.
See,
They got all the artists and everything.
He's good people.
Those are the kinds of people that
You
he came from.
you see all the artists go out there at the end when they're listening to Best Day Ever, and then the pictures are coming up, and they're all hugging like his family, and his mom and dad are
His
crying.
friends and
It's
It's
crazy.
just heartbreaking, man.
It is, dude, and like, I don't know. I couldn't watch the whole thing, but yeah, I think the coolest thing is that they did like a fundraiser for that youth arts program. I think that's good for kids. We need more creative kids. We need like outlets for those kids to do that, you know, like, because Mac was one of those people, and like we just need those programs. Like,
I've always thought this world needs workers and those that are, you know, the creative visionaries that are able to get us ahead of where we are now. You know, if we're all workers, I mean, this place would just sort of maintain itself. We just keep kind of recycling. If we didn't have the extraordinaries,
yeah,
you know,
that's
out
why
there,
everybody's individual. You know, like what makes you you.
Yep, those are the artists in life, and kind of like where
Chew off my arm right now.
kind of what I was saying. Chase Brody.
He's showing off for the camera.
Yeah.
Camera time. Hey,
He's a feisty-
stop.
Hey, chill.
Strawberry.
Chill.
He wants some attention now. He's like, guys, get away from the
Clamp it down,
podcast.
bro.
Come on, guys. Oh, now he's gonna start crying.
Okay, stop.
You're all ready to start the show,
Sure.
man.
Get back to the podcast.
Take the attention way more.
Thanks, bud.
But no, so I had this thought when I saw everybody getting up on that stage for that celebration of Mac's life, how you can kind of tell by the look on their faces and whatnot that I want to be like careful on how I say this, because you can tell like they didn't want to be there because it shouldn't be a thing in the first place. Like he shouldn't be gone in the first place.
Yeah.
With how young he was, with how much how much he had to offer, and with what he's already offered. To accept that he's gone is one large pill to swallow. It's very difficult to accept.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember when I first heard the news, my brother told me, and I was downstairs, and I had literally like clicked on his last Instagram story that he put up the night before, and he was playing his album, and he played the last song, So It Goes, and it's like the ending, and then he dies the next day. And I just remember Kate opening the door. I was down in the basement, and he's like, Cole, Mac Miller died. I'm like, no, I'm literally looking at his story, and even though it was like hours ago, I was like, no, dude, like, no, he didn't die. And then you're just kind of waiting, and you go on Twitter and stuff, and you keep scrolling to see if anything pops up,
and all of a sudden,
all these news outlets, and you're just waiting for Mac to get on Twitter and say, hey, it's a hoax, like, whatever, some bullshit.
Your boy here, we good.
But then days go by, weeks go by, and you don't see anything, and it's hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm doing better with it, but I was pretty upset. And there's still points where, like I said, I'll listen to his music, and I'll just... It's not like it's not like I break down, but I just start thinking too much, and I'm like, once again, just taken way too early from us. Death is such a weird concept, and I don't know. Like, have you guys had anyone in your life that was like really important to you pass away? Up to this date?
Yeah.
Like family members that you were close with?
Yeah, family members. I mean, I think everybody's, sort of had an experience with that at some point.
Right.
I don't know. Well, I mean, what about you?
Well, because I've only really had like great grandparents, and I'm not saying like I didn't have a great relationship with them, but they were older. That's why they're my great grandparents. So I was so young when they died. I've never really been around death and like
been able to really comprehend.
Right, or like someone that really impacted my life, like my grandma, not my great grandma. She's closer in age, and so that's what everyone's really grown up with. They didn't really know their great grandparents unless they lived around for a long time. And so for me, Mac this is like the first death that I've had to deal with that impacted me so much, even though I wasn't related to him. Just like by listening to his music and all the experiences I had growing up with his music, like all the places that it takes me back to. I mean, that's why it was like so hard. I had never really dealt with something like death with a person that I really was attached to, in a way, I guess. Like, I love my great-grandparents, but I was young.
Right.
So you're sitting there and
Well,
you don't really understand what's happening. You're like, Mom and Dad, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. They don't really know how to explain it to you.
Right.
Kid, yeah.
How do you explain that to your kid? You don't. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Let them think for themselves, I guess. And
it's one of those things. I mean, it's a very touchy idea. Again, I mean, you just even if you sort of did try to explain it to your kid. I mean, it's there's only so much that they can sort of understand, sort of retain.
Right.
About those situations. So.
Commanding your dog.
Boy. He's just all over the place right now.
He's just walking. You're just gonna see the cameras like shaking. Probably not.
He's just pacing, dude. I don't know why.
I like it. I think it's like in the podcast where they're just gonna keep hearing his little collar tingling around the room.
I swear, dude, this dog does a lot of drugs behind my back.
He's trying to find some right now. He's like, oh well,
he's on crack.
He's not near my
the
stash.
apartment, dude. Like he's onto a scent.
I'm also like 98% sure that he has like a secret drug ring while I'm at work. My dog sells drugs. He's a real like OG gangster, dude.
Well, dude, that's what I'm thinking about my cat. Like he fucking smuggles drugs into the house.
You know, when cats are deceitful. Cats are kind of evil.
Dude, I could just see. He just snorts it real quick in the back, and then he just starts scampering around.
He just looks around the corners.
Dude, no, he's literally just be laying down, and then he looks up. And he sees bugs, aliens, I don't know, creatures.
Has he ever been like sleeping and like, in his dream, like running?
Yeah.
He used to do this all the time, dude. I'm not even kidding you. He'd be a real little puppy, dude. He'd be out for hours. He's like sleeping. You know?
Does he make noises like?
He like, and then sometimes he'd like start like flapping his lips like.
Dude, he's chasing a gnarly rabbit in his dream.
There's been a few times where he like twitches a lot in his sleep, like twitches bad. But there's been a few times where he's like full on laying on his side, just sprinting.
Oh my goodness, dude! He really thinks he's in his dream. Would you ever get a dog?
Yeah.
Like, well, you can't have him here at the apartment, but...
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not one or the other. I love cats and dogs, the same.
Yeah.
What kind of dog would you want to get?
I don't know. I've thought about it before, but I've always liked German Shepherds, but I don't know if I've seen them have fun, but to me, they're just...
more of a serious...
They were bred to kill. That's what they were... meant for.
But they're very obedient, very loyal.
Yeah. Very loyal dogs. I mean, I just want one that obviously can have fun like Brody here. I mean, he's just want to be able to love you,
he's just a fun-loving dog. He's loving life, dude. He's just
want
living.
to have a good time.
He's just living, dude.
Yeah, man. Like, he looks like a statue right now, but it's okay.
You know how awesome it would be to be a dog, dude? You just bull, sleep, shit wherever you want, and play, bro.
And sniff some ass.
And sniff some ass.
Dude, but like the thing is, they act like such bitches when things don't go their way. It's like, dude, you have a great life. What do you got to complain about?
You are so freaking spoiled, dude.
I take care of you all day.
I literally pick up your poop.
You don't have to do shit, man.
You shit, I pick it up, dude.
Yeah. You're fucking
you
me
live
over in this equation.
You don't have a job, you bum.
It's like
I pay for your food.
We have a litter box or whatever for Chester, and we had to take off there's like a little flap door. That's how he gets in, but he couldn't figure out how to get out. So he would just go in, and then he'd be like trying to get out or whatever. So we had to take it off. And when cats, after they piss or poop, they fling their shit.
Oh, so he's flinging it out the door?
Not the poop, but like he's getting all the pebbles and whatnot that's in kitty litter. And it's all over the laundry room, because that's where we keep him in the day if we're not home. Because he's only 4 months, so we don't want him running around clawing crab. We have a spray bottle now, so whenever he does something like disobedient, I'm like...
Spray him with some water?
He hates it. He doesn't want none after I sprayed him.
Don't want no smoke?
Nah, man. He don't want no smoke.
That's the thing, man. Some cats don't learn either. I mean, when we had my cat Chubbs, he would be tearing up furniture and stuff. You know, you give him a little swat. You know, not trying to be mean to him or anything, but he's a big cat. So I mean, he put some good tears in our furniture by the door and stuff because we had this wood panel along our door, like the framework of it, and it's like, they do the same thing when they do it to the trees. You know, if you ever have seen them outside, they kind of like stretch and claw.
Yeah.
He would do that same thing, almost thinking it was a tree, like part of a tree.
Right.
But no matter how many times you'd swat him along the rear and whatnot, kind of give him a little pat on the head and stuff, he'd just go right back to doing it. It's like, what?
They have no care for
They have nothing.
what you
Yeah,
want.
They'd run away and they'd come right back.
I'm more of a dog person because cats, when they're kittens, they're pretty dope. You know, they play
They're
around,
fun.
they're kind of cool, they're fluffy,
They're fun.
they're funny, they're cute. But then they just turn into assholes, in my opinion. Some cats are cool, don't get me wrong. Some cats are dope. I'd say a solid, at least half, 50-50 chance. They're going to be dope or just a complete asshole.
Yeah.
You never have a cat that's just like, he's just there. He's
Kittens
like,
are-
that's my dude. Or fuck that cat.
Kittens are crazy and but they could grow up and then be like the exact opposite. Like be very mellow, not very talkative.
I feel like dogs have a lot more personality, you know?
Yeah.
They like communicate with you, I feel like.
I think they both.
They can understand, like, you know, if you're happy, they're gonna
Right.
yeah, you're happy, I'm happy. If you're feeling down, you're sad, you know.
Right.
They'll come hop up in your lap, you know, like, oh, what's up? What's wrong?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's like that companionship. Like,
Exactly. I
that
feel like there's
bond
more
that
of
you
a
build.
bond with the dog.
Right. I think they require more work too. Like
100%.
especially with training.
Cats mind their own business, dude. You don't have to train them.
Right.
Cats don't do tricks, you know.
Right.
They sit there. And,
Like they play with some toys, but then like some other toys that like are supposed to be like cat specific, they don't pay any attention to.
yeah.
Because like Chester, he's got these rolling balls with like little whatever in the middle, so it makes a sound, and he hates those. But then you get him like string things, and you start pulling it along the floor. He's going for that.
They're very
shit.
selective.
See, dogs love any toys, dude.
Yeah. Well, my dog doesn't like sticks though. Like you were saying, how Brody likes sticks.
Really?
She likes tennis balls.
He will tear apart tennis balls. You give him a tennis ball, it's destroyed in 30 minutes.
She
tops.
can't tear them, but she'll play catch with them. So like you'll throw them, she'll go after them.
See, that's what he'll do, and then after you throw it like 6 times, he'll get tired of running through the yard. So he'll just like try and juke you out when you try and grab the ball out of his mouth. He'll just be running around. I'll be chasing him like, Brody, stop! And he's just getting shifty. You know, the other day I thought I tore my ACL.
He's trying to juke you.
Yeah, it was Saturday morning, so I went into work late. So I was outside early in the morning, probably around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, just playing with my dog, trying to burn off some energy before I put him in the kennel.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I threw a stick. Yeah, he was chasing a stick, and he went and got it, and I was trying to get it from him, and he had it in his mouth. The stick's as big as him, you know. He looks like a complete idiot running around with his stick. And he stops and like gets real low and looks at me, and I like get in the stance, you know, because I know he's about to pull some shit. And so he looks at me and like breaks me down, gives me a little shimmy, and I try to grab this stick, and he, you reach, I teach, you know what I mean? He just hit me with a little jab step and then just cut back. And my foot, I tried to plant and cut back, and my foot just kept going. The grass was a little dimmy, you know, and I just kept going and going.
Stretching.
And you know, it hurts your groin, you pull your groin, and I just land on the ground
God,
like,
My dog made me tear my
And
ACL.
he's just running around the yard all proud with this stick like,
Look what I accomplished.
That's the nice thing about dogs too, though. It's like, you know, when they want to like play. I mean, they invite you. You know, they kind of like stretch out their front legs and stuff. Cats, you don't really know. They invite you to like pet their belly or something. You go to do that.
and then just like,
they start
fuck
clawing
you.
your ass
Yeah,
up. They
yeah.
start kicking you.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Like it's very rare when they want to like sit down and cuddle, but like those are the best moments because you know like every other time they're just fucking assholes.
Oh, I thought you found something.
Dig
Something to
for
be like a
gold.
wad of cash or something. But maybe that's just not. Maybe that's just not the move.
I wish there was a wad of cash. Oh man, LSU's getting killed.
LSU.
22-0.
Damn, bro.
Well, being as we have 15 minutes left, I would like to talk a little bit about the most recently released game, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh,
now, I know
beautiful.
Cole here has not played it very much, so we're going to keep the
Beautiful.
storyline to a minimum, hopefully.
Don't give
I hope we can retain that because it is a very good story.
Oh,
I feel like we can
Don't
both attest
spill
to this.
anything.
All I'm gonna say, it's probably the best game I've ever played in my life.
What would you give it? Like 1 out of 10?
1 out of 10.
Yeah.
11.
Oh,
What?
Oh,
What?
man.
And
This guy.
online hasn't even released yet.
Dro.
Okay, in the span of like how many games you've played, I'm sure it's a lot. What makes you say this is the best game? Because you said you're 20% complete.
That's what it says, like 20% complete.
So like, what makes you say that? Like, why is it like this is the best game I've played?
Well, for starters, it's just so visually appealing.
Right.
Like it almost you're playing a game, but it's almost like you're watching a movie.
Right.
You know, I'm a big Tarantino movie fan. It reminds me, especially like the opening scenes where you're in the snow and the mountains.
Oh,
It
yeah,
reminds
yeah.
me of Hateful Eight,
Right.
and
That's
that's one of my
true.
favorite
That's a good
movies.
connection.
all
That's
time.
very
I've seen
good.
that movie. Yeah, that's true.
And I don't know. Like I said, it's just visually appealing. You know, you'll be riding your horse through the mountains, and then there's just a mountain like backdrop, you know, landscape in the
Right.
background, and like he said, it looks so cool. But if you want to, you can go to it. You
The
know?
fact that you can
right.
travel all
you
the way
can
over
travel
there.
all around, you know. And I was reading something about it, and it said that nothing ever loops in that game. You know, you can interact with every single person you walk by, and it's never gonna be the same interaction. It's always gonna be
Mhm.
something
That's
different.
crazy. That's hard to pull off. For a
It's
video
very
game.
hard to pull off. You know, nothing loops is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
what
it's
I.
just the sheer amount of effort into just this minute details.
Yeah,
You know, like
that's what you
your
were
tracks
saying.
in the snow. You know, the snow has like
Yeah.
little glistens in it when the light hits it.
Right.
That's what captivates you, man. And I don't know. I don't think they had this in the first game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like when you shoot your revolver in the game and stuff, you have to click it again in order.
You have
to,
to
like,
click it to
hit the
reload.
hammer back.
Yeah.
Did they do that in the first one?
No, they didn't.
I was
If
gonna say.
you're shooting a repeater rifle, you have to shoot and then click the button again to cock
get
it.
that
Yeah.
shell out.
And I don't know. It's just.
It's
You have to you have to shave, you have to get haircuts, you have to groom your horse, you have to feed your horse.
so
You
small
have to
things
build
that
a
just
relationship with your horse.
it just captivates.
You have to
Cole.
eat.
It just
If you don't-
captivates you.
If
You
you
guys-
don't eat, you'll get underweight and you'll lose stamina quicker. You know?
Yeah.
If you eat too much, you'll get overweight and you won't
Mhm.
move as fast.
So do you think a lot of people would be turned off by the like, oh, that's too much work? Like, or have we become a society of people who play games that are like, I like GTA? You never have to
Like-
fill up the car with gas.
Yeah.
You know, you can change your clothes. You can just change the style of like hair or mustache that you
Uh-huh.
have. Like, do you think?
I feel like it can, but
Because
to
I
me-
haven't heard anybody that's turned off by this game yet. I've heard nothing but positive things.
See, I feel like that can turn people off. They'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to do all that." You know, that's stupid. But
Right.
to me, I think that makes it more entertaining.
Right.
Mhm. To me, kind of like how I was talking to you over Vox, which, by the way, if you haven't looked it up, Voxer on the App Store, wonderful app. You can send messages to one another, voice messages, and it helps you get pretty much about everything you want to say in this little Vox if you wanted to make it. This is not paid advertisement. I wish it were.
Sign us.
Sponsor us,
Sign
Vox,
us.
damn it. Anyway, really good. I think the icon's like a little widget thing, like a little walkie-talkie
It's
looking dude.
orange or something.
Orange
Yeah,
and
so
white.
like it makes
Go
this.
look it up.
makes this really cool like walkie-talkie sound when you click it. It's
Yeah.
just it's a cool little like.
Let's talk to each other.
Right, dude. Cause like I don't know about you guys, but I don't really text that much.
No.
And
not
so-
after
No,
Vox.
you take
Yeah.
forever to text back.
Dude, I don't text. Like I just like I see text and then I just like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll get back to that, but then I
And I
never
always
do.
forget, dude.
Right. I don't know. I just Vox is cool even though I Vox one person, but it's cool because you just get to talk about it and get your thoughts out. You know, like you're talking to technically you're talking on the phone, but you know someone's gonna hear it
Yeah.
on the other end.
Yeah. It's like all
That's
this,
my therapist through the phone.
It's
I'm
kind of
talking
it's
to right
nifty.
now.
It's like a text message, but you're putting it into vocal form, and then you send it. So that way, it's like you don't have to call the person. Just once they're ready to check it, they can check it.
Check. Yeah.
It's like it's amazing. But anyway, we just went like totally off rail here. That was like ADHD personified.
Let's go back to Red Dead.
I was discussing with you about something with Red Dead, and I can't remember what it was now. I don't know.
We're talking about like just all the small details. I don't know.
Small details and all that.
Like you have to
Did you
work
guys-
harder, build relationships.
Yeah, you do. Did you guys see that the horse testicles in that game will shrink when it gets cold?
That's what I heard.
What?
If you go like up into the mountains or like at night when it's colder, the horse's balls will shrink like it's cold.
Wow.
That's the amount.
That is some detail.
They
Can
really
you
went
imagine?
crazy on
Can
that.
you imagine? You go home to your family, And oh, what'd you do at work today, Dad? I made horse balls shrink. Or,
that was the mission today.
People asking you, oh, what's your job? Oh, I work on horse balls for a video game.
they hire one guy just for that specific thing.
See that image I created?
Horse ball enthusiast.
You see how this ball is not as heavy as this ball, This is the weirdest first date ever.
This is amazing. No, but I think what I was going to tell you, we spoke about as far as like the grind to the game. I think it's off-putting to the people that play stuff like Call of Duty and stuff that's very fast-paced, like very much like you get the reward right away, and you don't have to do pretty much like anything mundane in the meantime. To me, that's what I sort of realized playing this game, and it feels good. It actually bled over into like my actual real life.
When you beat missions, or like when you feel accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Like you worked for it, yeah.
Yeah, and so that started. I mean, that bled into because I played it like in the morning one day when I didn't have class, and played it just for like an hour or two, and then as soon as I got like out of it, went to go do my homework assignments, I felt much more enjoyment having like going through like that grind through that process. I think that kind of like shifts you into that perspective, and it feels great.
You get wrapped up into it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's kind of teaching discipline in a way, like the game, like just the way that you have to work for it, and like not everything is so easy. Mm-hmm. Like that is annoying and that's like taskful, but like that's what our lives are. That's how our lives kind of like revolve and operate. Is we have all these things that we have to do, and yes, at some point they seem like nuances, but that's just integrating like life. Like that's that's what actually happens. Mm-hmm. You can't just like always take a day off. Like, oh, dude, I'm not gonna fill up the car today. Well, fuck then, dude. You're not gonna have any gas. You dumbass.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not gonna shave your beard. You're gonna look like a fucking grizzly bear, like right here. Like shave that shit, bro. Just kidding. I'm never shaving this. Not never, but not anytime soon. Amazing. I like it, dude. I like it.
Isn't like No Shave November now anyway?
Yeah.
You got like a free month right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep
Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, you have an excuse for a month.
Fuck yeah.
It's No Shave November.
I'm working on this for like
you haven't shaved in 3 months.
They just create so many different like names for each month. It's just getting outrageous, dude.
It is.
I just completed Sober October, and yeah, I didn't know about it until last year. So. You're always sober.
Not a day in his life has he not been sober.
Never.
Since you came out the womb.
100%.
God damn.
I'm not a heathen.
For those he goes to church every Sunday. Wears the cross.
For those of you who don't know Shane, we met him. When did we meet you? What? That was 2016.
Oh, summer 16.
This dude drank 5-hour energies.
Okay, a little backstory. Somebody told me they'd buy me dinner if I drank 5-hour energies as fast as I could. Wasn't even real 5-hour energies. It was knockoff. It was called Tweaker. Good name for it.
I didn't know that. That's terrifying.
Oh, it was terrible.
For dinner, this is why you did it? They were going to buy you food?
I got free food out of it. But I puked up all that food.
But was the pain worth it, though?
It's pretty good food.
What'd you have?
Yeah, what'd you eat?
Summerfest, whatever. They have an ankeny or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was some fried bullshit food. I don't know.
So who told you this?
T. Jones.
T. Jones?
Yeah.
Of course he would. Of course he would.
Hey, I did what I did.
You did what you did
for the food.
You had to get the grind.
And you're still alive.
I'm still alive. We made it.
I don't know how you survived that night. I was
Michael
terrified.
J. Foxing all night,
Dude, yeah, I looked at you and you were like pulsating. You were I'm like, dude,
pupils were just dilated and
you were a zombie.
It was bad, dude.
But that's the Shane that we met in 2016, man. You were just crazy. What happened? Yeah. Maturity.
Now you're boring. And now you're
what do you do for fun, man?
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption.
Okay. I don't have time for fun.
Kids, don't go outside. Play Red Dead Redemption.
No, I don't.
Pretty much close to the real thing anyway.
I'm working a lot right now, so I'm not going to be working as much during the winter, so I'm probably going to be, going out, doing more.
Oh, yeah.
So, since Texas wasn't what you were expecting, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep this job for a while? Are you going to
for now, yes.
With it?
Yeah, I'm going to work with it, see where it goes, see where it can take me, and reevaluate, if it's not something I want to stick with, not something I want to do for the long haul. Find something new, but for now it's a good job. puts money in my pocket, pays my bills, and I can't complain. So.
There we go.
I think we can all respect those jobs. Like, you had FedEx, which makes really good money, and then at some point you had a falling out. Like, I got Iowa Beverage, that's good money. I wouldn't do it for a lifetime thing. And you've got this, which I'm assuming you make pretty good money.
Yeah, I make pretty good money for what I do.
It kind of makes you appreciate life, though, like, going through jobs like that.
Oh, for sure.
Like, there's a lot
It
of
makes
times.
you appreciate the grind.
Do you ever get, like, so
There's
pissed?
beauty in the struggle.
Do you get pissed, though? Like, during your work day? Like,
Oh, yeah.
little things?
Little
Dude,
things will irritate me, dude.
Little things will throw me off so far. It can literally just ruin the rest of the time that you're working.
I don't know why, but when I was working at WD, even just small things, another garage door business, it irked me, dude. And like you said, it can throw the rest of your day off. It can ruin you, put you in a funk for the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, dude. With Iowa Beverage, I get so frustrated with like customers just taking slow time. But like maybe that's not realistic to get mad. I'm just like in a hurry trying to get my job done. But I don't know. Like people just like they're not paying attention. Like come on, move. And then it just takes me longer. I'm just trying to get out of there.
Uh-huh.
It's not a hard job, but like
That's
if I don't know, just throwing some alcohol around. The worst thing is like a sports page when you would drop something like a plate and you really never wanted to, but everybody does it.
Yep.
And then everyone pipes down and everyone's just staring at you.
You're like, huh?
Yesterday,
At least you got one out of the
I
way.
was driving a trailer around and I literally shredded. I blew a tire and shredded it on the highway, dude.
What?
And I had to pull into a Hy-Vee gas and I had to leave it overnight.
Oh no.
Wow. That sucks.
Yeah, it was bad.
How'd you do that? Just
Okay, well,
randomly?
it was low because we take our trailers to the landfill, so we get like nails and stuff in our tires from the landfill. So it was low. And I have a tank on my truck, but that was low too, like a compressor. So I filled it up as much as I could, thought it was good, and I don't know if do you guys know University that runs through Des Moines?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know how down by the fairgrounds the lanes get like real tight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was doing that, and it's a fat, like wide trailer, and I actually rubbed the tire on the curb, and it was low, and it like wore it down enough that it just.
Is that the sound it made? Sounds just like it.
That's very good.
Damn, man, that's
You should animate like a cartoon where
Yeah,
like the
just be a
tire
voice actor.
pops. No, but dude, we all break shit. Like
Shit happens.
it's the dumbest things too. Like for Iowa Beverage, you'll have like 6-packs or whatever, and you're pulling them out of a box that has like 4-packs, and one bottle will get like caught on something, and you won't see it. So when you pull it out, it comes off and then breaks on the ground.
Gotta love it.
That's the most annoying thing. It'll just catch on something. Then you have to. Then you're in a store. Then you gotta go get the mop. And then you gotta come over and you gotta clean it yourself because you don't work for Hy-Vee.
It's the grind.
They're not gonna do it for you. Like I gotta do this now. I'm like, God damn it.
It's the grind.
It is, man. But people gotta embrace the grind.
Yep.
Like,
Well, just like how I was telling you, there was that study done with these. As far as I'm assuming, Shane, you probably know like dopamine and all that. As far as neurochemicals, and that's pretty much everybody's favorite neurochemical. Deals with rewards, but there was a really interesting study done with the damn monkeys that had this button that they'd press, and for every 10 times they'd press it, just going fucking ham on this button, they'd get like
Relentless.
2 raisins. And so every time they got this raisin, over time they would begin to tie the grind to the reward, like this mental pathway. They'd be like, okay, I understand now. I get raisins for this, pressing button 10 times. And so over time, their dopamine, the reward system, they actually felt pleasure not from getting the raisins anymore. I mean, that still felt good, but it shifted to the process itself. So they actually felt good pressing the button. They're like, oh shit, here it comes. I got the fucking raisins coming. But then there's other like detrimental things because, it's not just monkeys. I mean, it's just nature for every, being on Earth. When we begin to almost like bite off more than we can chew, or we begin to ask for more than we, really need. Whenever they got those 2 raisins, if they just continuously got those 2 raisins over time, there would be less dopamine release. And so they're like, well, I kind of want more because, 2 is great and all, but it'd be terrific to have
But
more.
I'm hungry, yeah.
So that has no limit, surprisingly. You can get, bring them up to 4 raisins or up to 8, compound it as much as you want. And it always happens. Like you could stop at 100 raisins and they'd be like, well, this is great and all, but I'd really like 200 raisins, So it's just a part of our nature. And I feel like once people understand that, it's complex, to some, I think. But it's also very powerful if you understand how to use that and like understand like, okay, well, you know, I better not bite off more than I really need right now, because, you know, it's just a matter of life. You know, no matter what we're doing, you know, the earth itself has finite resources. You know, there's only so much that we can take without eventually having it come back to bite us in the ass.
Sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. Yep.
People are greedy, dude.
They are, and that's just a part of the nature, though. You know, it's like you can't have as much as you want ever.
Also,
You're
like
bit rich.
a big thing, that might tie into it, is like change. What do you guys think about like when you get into a routine? So for like you're going to school right now, you're working. So I'm assuming like your Monday through Friday looks pretty much the same. Yours might be different just depending on when you have classes and whatnot, right? But like when you get into a routine, it almost becomes so comfortable that you go with it. So what do you guys feel about like change? Because I fucking hate change. It's so weird at first, but it's just that initial like difference. Everybody's like, oh, well,
sometimes you need change, though.
Right? And you're like, I like what I've been doing. You know, maybe like this setup for a couple months, and then you try something different, and it's
I like this. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like it takes a lot of time to get adjusted to.
It just depends on what it is.
Like, are you guys like? Do you guys like change? Are you more of like a oriented, like structured person? Like the same things, you anticipate the same thing to happen. You don't want to be surprised. You don't want change.
It's weird because I almost like crave change. I don't want to say bored easily, but things just become like almost mundane to me, you know, kind of methodical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need change, but at the same time, it's always so hard for me to make decisions regarding change. Like, for instance, when I just was deciding whether to stay in Iowa or move to Texas, that was one of the hardest decisions I've ever made in my life.
Right.
And vice versa, when I was in Texas, deciding if I wanted to stay there and move back.
Right.
You know, I was pretty much flat broke in Texas. I needed to come back. I needed to get this job I had here, and it was still a difficult decision. You know?
Right, and that's a big decision. You know, like that takes a lot of time. I mean, I don't know how long it took you to like, but you probably had to give that some deep thought.
Yeah.
And think like, what's going to benefit me more.
Yeah, for sure. It's
But
even on a smaller scale, you know, I just, like I said, I almost crave change, but at the same time, it's difficult for me to make changes, if that makes sense.
do you get like anxiety, like if you're
Sometimes
like kind of sitting around for a while, not doing anything, like I got to get up and do something?
Yeah, especially like there was a while there, probably it's been a couple years ago, but I wasn't working for about a month, and it was fun at first, but I just drive myself. I need to be doing something.
Yeah.
Know? It almost drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I think we all, you know, crave change, especially when things become stale.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, from a
beautiful.
behavioral standpoint, you know, nobody wants to be around something that's decaying or,
Yeah.
you know, becoming gray. It's like you don't want to be around that.
No.
So, you know, again, I think that's just part of our nature. I do think that, you know, I think the hardest part for a lot of people, maybe this is in your case too, you know, deciding like, as far as which is the most important choice for yourself, you know, either staying and, you know, taking the risk of like, oh, do I better things here? Do I try to make it better? Or do I go back and, you know, start new almost? It's like, it's a hard thing, man. This is real life, you know?
It's scary for either, and that's what I'm talking about. Like this whole mental health thing is such an issue. Like there'll be times where I'm just sitting there, and if I'm sitting there for a long time, I tend to make the issue bigger than it actually is.
You get almost lost inside your own head.
It's like I'm dealing with this dilemma in my head, but I'm hyping it up even more because I'm thinking about it more. And so the more and more like I just sit there, and even if I'm addressing it in my head, it's still not really getting out, I guess. So I've been going on walks lately. If I get really anxious, I try and go to the gym, even if I'm not really feeling like it, and I'll force myself. And I've learned lately, like the higher cardio that you add, like when you keep bumping up your heart rate, that is a great workout. You don't give a flying fuck about anything when you're done because you just like tore yourself apart.
Dude, runner's high is a real thing.
It is.
Oh, it's amazing.
Dude. It is.
Endorphins. I love them.
I used to not like people that would talk to me about like lifting or like exercising. I was like, I don't really believe in cardio. I'm like, it's just annoying. It's a nuance, but
It sucks.
It does suck, but you just have to get through it. And once you do, like you said, runner's high, that's a thing. You just don't care
about shit.
You ever get that feeling when, I don't know if this is part of the whole runner's high thing, but when you're running on the treadmill and as soon as you get off, it feels like you're just kind of walking really damn fast?
Yeah.
It's super strange.
Yeah.
I love it though.
I like to go treadmill, then I'll go elliptical, and then I'll go the bikes, and I'll pull the resistance up. Your legs are just fucked after.
Ooh.
I feel like
Burnt.
they're quivering, dude. You feel like jello.
You're like kind of afraid to take the stairs because you're like, I might collapse.
I might fall.
Yeah, like I might land on my face. Like,
Then you
do
go
some
land in your
somersault.
bed and they're just like,
Oh.
But that makes like sleeping that night so much greater because you go home and you just lay in your bed.
There was a time at
it just hugs you, dude. You
There's-
burrito yourself in.
Yeah, dude, just like a sleeping bag, just cuddle all tight.
There we go. There was a time that at the Ames Fitness Center, the South one here that I go to, the membership that I have for fitness and whatnot. Like there was a time they had this machine that it looks like an elliptical, but the step things are to me they seem like a lot lower than like your typical elliptical, and you couldn't modify it. You couldn't go up at all. You couldn't change the pace of it whatsoever. I mean, I don't really know ellipticals all that well either.
Was
but
it a stair stepper?
No, so it turns out this thing, like, it just, instead of your feet kind of coming up, they sort of just kind of sway back and forth. I didn't know what that was. I just thought it was like a weird elliptical. So I was on that thing for like a long time. I don't even remember. Just because I was like, I want to get some elliptical in, some cardio. I didn't realize that targeted your calves so much. And so I stepped off and like they started twitching immediately and I almost fell. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't move. I'm standing there and like I was terrified because I'm looking around me and I'm like, okay, someone's gonna like catch me slipping here in a minute. I can't get up.
You just
It was scary.
You just overloaded the system.
Dude,
bro.
that
It was
reminds-
so bad.
Right before I went to Sal Padre, I was at the gym. And I had just finished my workout. I was dead and I just wanted to get a little bit of cardio in at the end, just like a cool down. I was gonna run just an easy mile on the treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
So I was running. I was watching a UFC fight on the TV, and I had my headphones in. So I got a lot going on, right? Wasn't paying attention. I apparently took a little bit too big of a stride. Stepped on like the base, the platform of the treadmill, and lost my footing and went down. My first instinct was to grab onto the handle. So I'm sitting here, the treadmill's still going. I'm hanging on, and I'm like, ah! And keep in mind, I'm in the middle of a big ass Planet Fitness, right? My roommate Noah is running on a treadmill next to me. He reaches over and pulls the cord. So when it slowed down, I finally let go and rode it out, dude, and it peeled the skin off on my hip, on my knee, and on my ankle, dude. And I was leaving for Sal Padre the next day.
Oh,
Jeez.
just flailing, just trying to.
I didn't even finish my mouth. I just went straight to the locker room, and the guy at the desk was like, in between like laughs, he's like, "Are you okay, dude?" And I just went, "Yep."
I'm done for the day, man. I'm done.
There's my cardio.
It's a grind, man. It's all part of the experience. You gotta just put up with it.
God, dude.
We get our asses kicked by nature. We can't kick it out.
Not even nature, by a plastic machine.
By
with a belt
by
on
the
it, dude.
by the plastic thing that we're trying.
Some of those machines are scary, and also like just be careful like with the weight that you're using. Like I hate watching gym failure videos because those things will screw you up. Those will make you overthink it when you get in the gym. You see a dude take his head out when he's benching.
Oh yeah,
And then
terrifies you for the next time.
then you subconsciously like you're worrying about it when you go to do the lift. Like, oh, I don't want to screw it up.
Traumatized.
Yeah. Have you been working out lately, man?
I haven't had time recently.
I remember you told me like, Pitts, I'm getting thick. I'm gonna beat your ass or something like that.
Yeah,
You're like, when I get back,
I was hitting the gym for a while, but
When you were in Texas?
Yeah, I've been working way too much since I got back. I'm trying to get back over the winter though, get in a little bit better shape because I'm not gonna be working.
Here we go.
So you had more time to work out? You weren't working as much?
Yeah, I wasn't hardly working at all in Texas.
Okay, so how often would you work out?
Probably 6 times a week.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Damn, dude, that's rough. Like I can get
trying
5.
to bulk, dude.
Were you?
I gained a little bit of weight. I got stronger, but it didn't really show. Is the thing.
It's tough, dude. It's so tough with that.
That's what happened.
Like
The first few times that I was on a meal plan and everything in Texas.
what kind of meal plan? Was it like high protein, high
Yeah.
carbs? Like so you're trying to bulk?
I was trying to bulk.
Yeah.
What kind of workouts would you do? Like, was it sort of? I'm assuming like you would run and stuff
Yeah,
during the time,
just-
but would you do like accessories and
I didn't really do like any rack weights. I just did machines pretty much.
Okay.
And I just hit a different group. It's easier on your joints is what it is. I have bad knees or bad back. You know, it's easier on your joints.
There's a guy that goes to the Y that he doesn't do squat anymore like a free weight. He just does it on the machine. Like he just works his legs on the machine because he's like, I've found out that it's easier for me to grow that way than essentially hurting myself doing
it's
squat.
better for you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Joints break down easily.
But and I just hit a different group of muscles every day. You know.
Yeah.
Back. I do back and arms together.
So,
thing that,
did you feel stronger? Like
yeah.
with gaining, like how much weight did you gain? Like
not very much. I mean, I'm a pretty skinny guy. You know, I started at like 150 and I got up. See, I've always for like the last 2 years fluctuated between like 150 and 165. And when I started, I was about 152, 153, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. I finished at like 165, but that was when I moved back. I'm back down to about 150.
Yeah,
something now.
It's so weird because I was bulking at one point and I just became obsessed with like getting calories in, but I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. So it would be things like, you guys remember I would send Jack's Pizza,
whole milk.
I would send Snapchats of that every day, and that's 1,000 calories, and there's so much sodium getting packed, and you eat a full.
We got puffy. We were puffy dudes.
It was like there's some sort of like flubber on you. Like you're not fat, but you're just like pudgy.
You're thick.
That time that
the skin looks fake. It looks like you could just poke it in.
There's that
looks
picture.
like a fat suit.
Yeah.
There's that picture you and I on Facebook. I think your mom took it of us before we went out to Cali. And like we both had bellies and shit. I had man titties at some point. And then like my face, I was trying to smile, but like this fat shit right here was like coming up. I was like, hold my laptop.
We look like wax figurines. Like plastic surgery.
Bad time.
No, there's some really bad pictures of us, I'm sure, when we were trying to bulk.
Hey, we're trying something though.
Hey, at least
it wasn't bad.
Effort.
It's just it's just been such a long road since I started lifting, and like where I'm at now, I don't care about that shit anymore. I got veins that I never thought I had. I got this vein that comes across my shin, and I'm just like,
yeah, bro, I'm jacked.
Like this dude, he's got leg veins for days.
He's muscular.
Cause he's just like jumping around doing stuff.
Bulky Brody.
That's
how we do it.
Scrappy motherfucking do.
But
anyway, I think I've allowed 12 extra minutes here. I believe we've all allowed 12 extra minutes.
How long did we go?
Where
are we at right now?
An hour and 12 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've got a good time, but we had a lot to work with there, so that was good. But anyway, Shane, thank you for coming on today, my man.
Good seeing you. It's been a pleasure.
Of course. Always welcome back to Iowa.
Thank you.
We hope to see you again here soon, as well as Brody here. I'd love to have you on again. I'd
love to be
one
here.
hell of a time.
It was a good time.